Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to our freak show. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, chat. You guys keep forgetting to remind me, man.
Well,
I know. I
It's like
can
a running gag now.
my chat's working.
Come on.
No one's here. Everybody. Oh,
Oh,
come on in. Come to the
they'll
party.
shuffle it.
The party is here. Anyway,
Then it began.
we got a big show to cover today. I guess
It
we'll see.
has begun.
Then,
So, what?
oh,
What?
There's a
there's
delay.
B. B is here. BRT is here.
Hey, B.
What up? You know, Don, I'm gonna try something. I think it is me with my. Let me try this. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come back on my phone.
Well, come back in then.
Yeah, but come back on my phone. See what happens.
I'll be in the middle.
All right. That means you get the middle spot. That's the prime spot because you don't have to deal with
I'm Everybody's focused on that
Prime
center of
spot.
attention. Get it? That's why they call it the center of attention.
Yep.
Oh, man. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope your weather is well.
Yes.
I hope your families and your health is well. And welcome.
Today,
If it's your first time here, welcome. Totally
Yes.
welcome. We're so happy you're here. Make sure you hit the subscribe bell if you have, or subscribe bar if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell because you will be notified every single time we upload. And we want to propose to you guys in the comments below this video. After this video, let us know what your favorite main villain is and why. And then we will be reading those off next time.
yes. Michael, do you want to change your screen name? Because according to this, you're Action Studio now.
Action Studio. No. I'm just on the Action Studio camera because we'll have people will get used to the Action Studio camera. That's for Action
coming,
Figure Theater.
people. It's coming. Dun, dun, dun.
It's coming. We're
It is
working on
coming. It is.
Yes.
It is.
But before we do that, today we're talking about the main villains from Freak Show.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
And
We are
we're going
talking
to
about
start.
Gloria and Dandy Mott, Twisty the Clown, and Edward Mordrake.
Which really, only one of those four is really a villain. The rest of them are misunderstood.
And we will tell you why.
Yep. So let's start with the villain, which is Dandy Mott. And I think that this is possibly American Horror Story's best written villain, best fleshed out villain. Thredson in Asylum is pretty twisted, pretty complicated.
Yeah.
But Dandy reminds me of those Harry Potter fans out there. Dandy reminds me of Umbridge.
Dandy seemed
Umbridge
more
is-
realistic to me, like somebody who it really could be and like really could have done that rather than Thredson.
Yeah.
Seemed more not so real and fake. Like it seemed way too much and over the top. Dandy's just crazy and wants to be
just
somebody.
Evil. He's a sociopath. He's just evil. I mean, he's like I said, he's like Umbridge in Harry Potter. You cannot take your eyes away from him. You cannot stop watching him, but you loathe him. You absolutely hate him. Everything he does is disgust you. I mean, what an interest by Fenn Wheatrock. I mean, if he doesn't win the newcomer, it's
and for this to be his debut.
Yes, let's say that.
Talk about carrying a story
with American Horror Story. Amazing. Yes. Finn Wheatrock, for those of you who don't know, is the actor who plays Dandy Mott.
And he was previously on Glee?
No.
No. What was he on? He was on something before.
I don't know.
That thing with that stuff.
Huh?
He was what?
With the stuff?
With the stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
No, there's something that I watched that he was on. Anyway, I was like, what are you talking about? So anyway, but yeah, for one of his
your audio is crystal clear.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, so that's
Okay,
good to
good.
know for action theater.
Yeah, it's the computer. I need to get more memory on it. So, yeah, this is an iPhone 11. So there you go. So Finn, for Finn to come in and, I mean, really on the antagonist side, really carried this season, and the chemistry that he had.
To come in as someone you know that the audience is supposed to, not just that they're going to, that they're supposed to hate and loathe and utterly despise. This is your debut, and you have to have the balls to pull that off, because otherwise you can bomb your whole career.
And he gets that. We get that from him. Scene 1. The first scene that he's in, we're introduced to the mosque. We hate this little son of a bitch, this little spoiled little rich kid, little brat, and then it turns evil, just sociopathic evil. So basically, in a nutshell, you got a mother and her son. They're alone. They live in a huge estate. They're obviously come from a lot of money. They're the town's little matriarch of money, of society. So they live in another bubble. They live in their own world. They live in something just completely different, their own rules, and therefore they're fucking crazy. I mean, just batshit. You've got Dandy on one side, who's just spoiled and expects and demands everything in the world, and there's no. There is absolutely no with him. He has to get what he wants, and he has to get it now. It's like Veruca Salt and Charlie Brown.
He's a child, and he still acts like a child who has always gotten what they wanted.
Yes, always. Exactly.
He kind of reminds me of the
male version.
He reminds me of the male version of Veruca Salt.
Yes, that's what I was just saying. Veruca Salt, Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. I want it now.
Just more sociopathic about.
Yeah. Well,
he would have become.
Well, see, when Dandy, when we get to his murderous phase, it's like Dandy had a lust for it. He had a need for it, and that's what was really sick about him.
Remember, the whole reason Dandy starts out, excuse me, is because when he goes to the freak show, he feels he has more in common with the freaks than normal people. He feels he's a freak. He needs to be part of this family.
And then when he was rejected,
you're crazy. Get out of here. You're not a freak, and blah blah blah. But little do we know, like we see through the evolution of this character, he's more than a freak. He's a nut.
Yeah. It's freaking psychotic. Yeah.
He's a freak in his own right? The whole point of this is
exactly.
Monsters. All monsters are human.
Exactly. He's the monster. He's the monster among all of us, all the freaks.
Mm-hmm.
So in the household, like I said, you got the monster. We'll learn more about the Mott estate and the Mott family line when we get to Roanoke. But as far as we know right now, it's Gloria, which is Frances Conroy, and Dandy, her son, Finn Whitrock. Then they have a maid, which is Dora.
Patty LaBelle.
Patty LaBelle. In
oh
American
my God,
Horror Story.
I loved that.
That was so out of left field for casting. It was.
It really was.
I remember because I didn't follow a lot of the.
Amazing.
Yeah, I didn't follow a lot of the behind the scenes.
You did. It was so American Horror Story, is what it was, because you didn't look at her and see Patty LaBelle. You saw Dora the maid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know anything about behind the scenes at the time.
Dora the maid. You did not see Patty LaBelle. Not one.
So when Dora comes on the scene, comes on the credits, I was like, "What? What the fuck?" Because I had no idea that she was going to do it. No, I saw it on the credits, but I wasn't following behind the scenes during Freak Show. I was just watching it on TV. So Dora is kind of the sane voice in that family, in that household. Dora's the one that constantly is telling Gloria, he's full of shit. She's like, this kid doesn't scare me. This kid is not going to boss me around. This kid is not going to pull his bullshit on me. And it gets worse and worse, where Gloria continues to enable Dandy on all of his little, eccentricities with his costuming and, his special toys, and even up to buying the twins and the Freak Show we'll get to later. But Dora's just like, you know what? No. You could pull that on your mother, but when it's just me and you, or I'm in the room, you ain't pulling shit on me. I mean, she's constantly she'll pay for it, but she's constantly just
and not in a bad way, but very much that stereotypical old school stern, no nonsense mother type of figure that you would have had back in the day.
Well, she basically raised him.
Right. She did.
Yep. With her daughter.
You didn't do anything for him.
Didn't raise him.
Yeah, exactly. It was
and
Dora.
Let us point out too, I know you haven't really gotten to Gloria just yet, But just as a side note, that they do point out that the Mott line is full of inbreeding.
Yes.
And Dandy even makes a comment to his mother when he's mad at her about her sleeping with her cousin or her brother or something. I don't remember exactly, but her specifically with inbreeding. So from what we are to believe is that Dandy is the product of inbreeding, which would maybe slightly explain. Usually you see, maybe that's where normally you would see deformities and physical deformities as a freak, quote unquote, whereas his freak is in his mind that wasn't necessarily created by him, because there's a whole debate on whether sociopaths are nature or nurture.
Right.
And you could go both back and forth, but I believe there's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I do too.
You're predisposed to certain things, and then there's other things that come from your environment that are learned and taught behaviors.
I think I've shared before, but in my years of psych, working on the floor with actual acute psych patients, I've only ever worked with one true sociopath. And this guy just really taught me everything I needed to know about psych, because they just don't care about anything. There is no consequence for anything they do. So it's completely unpredictable. It's really scary.
They don't care about the consequence.
They don't care. No, they don't care about nothing.
And they'll go back and do it over and over again.
They don't care about anything.
They can make it there too, because then they're king there.
It's sport for them. It literally is a game. It's insane. Anyway, so speaking of the other sociopath, we'll go back to Dandy. So our story starts with Dandy here in the beginning of the series, that he wants the freak show. This is his latest acquisition. This is his latest golden ticket. There's a freak show in town, and oh my gosh, he feels that he should be part of the freaks, and he wants to own the freaks. He wants to be king of the freaks.
The freak show was already there, but it gained notoriety because that was after Elsa had acquired the twins, and so they put up the banners and everything, and it started to stir up attention in town. And then Gloria bought out the whole tent.
The whole tent.
So that Dandy could pick any seat he wanted.
And he won hers. That just shows you everything about Dandy. He had all the seats in the house, and he wanted the one she was already sitting in. It's so passive aggressive. It's so mean spirited. So anyway, so they're watching the show, and he is just enamored by the twins. He's just enamored by the freaks in general, but the twins, and he's like, this is mine. I have to have that. I have to have all this. And so he just thinks, well, it's a done deal. Wipe my hands of it. Let me go up here and just make the transaction. And, mother, get your checkbook out. We're
offered him $10,000, which was a lot of money.
Yeah. So he walks up and he says, I want this. And they tell him no. And he's like, no, you didn't understand.
People don't tell me no.
I get this. I want this, and I'm going to buy it. $10,000. Right. And they said no. And then basically, Jimmy runs him out of there. Get the fuck up out of here. He said, what's the man with your crazy nonsense? And then Dandy snaps at this point. When he leaves, he's just like, whoa. How many? He's probably late 20s.
So personal.
Yeah, late 20s. That was probably from anybody outside of like Dora. Maybe it was the first time he's ever been told no for anything. And he just, all the psychosis starts. It's just the entitled, enraged baby in him just explodes, and he goes on a rampage. And the first thing that happens with,
like Arden did on the Raspers in Asylum.
Yeah,
and it's always, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Always.
Now, did he kill Dora first before the twins got there? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I guess
no, it was after the twins. After they left the first time.
I'm trying to picture Dora with the twins.
Because it was after he met Twisty. Because I remember when he stands in front of Dora as the clown.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing he does is he cons Elsa into selling him the twins, and that's the first like major massive. Well, does he meet Twisty first yet?
He meets Twisty through his mom because he throws.
Yeah, but isn't that after the twins leave?
When he's sad that he can't have the twins, she goes ahead and she's driving down the road and buys him a clown to cheer him up. It's psychotic.
There's Twisty on the side of the road.
Clown, bloody and dirty and shit on the side of the road.
Yeah, because Twisty had already been on his little killing spree. Yeah, actively. His costume is all gross. As we see, Twisty lives in this little bus, and There he is, and Gloria just picks him up. Hey, I want to buy you. Okay, Twisty didn't. All right, well, give me some money.
Children's parties? That's basically what she said. She's like, do you do children's parties?
It's crazy.
First of all, bitch, your kid ain't no child.
Yeah.
Second of all, like stranger danger, like there's certain red flags that go up with any normal person.
Right.
Let's just talk about how Gloria's not all there. And again, they talk about the long line product of inbreeding. So I mean, that could be part of it too.
Wait,
but she's just a very naive enabler. And
the twins are first. He gets the twins first, doesn't he? And then after they leave, is when he finds Twisty. She buys Twisty for him after the twins leave, and he's all upset that they left.
He doesn't discover Twisty until Halloween.
Yeah, see, so the twins are first. He gets the twins. He gets the twins, so he does get the yes. He gets it from Elsa because Elsa had overheard the conversation or whatever that he wanted to buy the freak show and he wanted to buy the twins. And at this point, Elsa was already jealous of the twins taking over the headlining. So Elsa manages to get the twins over to him to buy the twins. So the twins, so he's already he hasn't really completely cracked yet. What?
I'm sorry. I was just looking it up because I was trying to see when, before or after.
Yeah.
And I just grazed real quick, speed read. And I come across the part where after Dandy couldn't have Bet and Dot, they went home and had dinner and he flicked the fork because he was mad. Yeah. And he says, nipple bottle. And he fills it with cognac.
Yeah, it's like that just goes to the level of narcissism in this kid. Is he drinks out of a bottle when he requests that special bottle, nipple bottle, and then it's got freaking alcohol in it.
Then he refuses to eat his food. Like he's just a whole fucking
Give me
child.
Yeah, he really just these are grown adult men, crazy ass temper tantrums. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and then until he gets murderous.
He's a spoiled little brat. Is basically what he is.
So the twins come. That doesn't work out, and there's the whole scenario where Jimmy comes for the twins, and by the time they, that's Bet and Dot's story. But basically,
Gloria meets Twisty after they wouldn't sell him the.
Why am I confused? Because Twisty, he would be studying under Twisty. He was studying under Twisty when the twins were there.
No, that was after.
Eventually, due to jealousy, Elsa sells the twins to Dandy, but tells the truth that they ran off.
That's after he meets Twisty?
Yeah.
I have to watch the succession. That just doesn't make sense in my head.
You have to go back and watch.
Remember, then Twisty leaves the house, but then he follows him into the woods, and that's when he finds his bus and everything. And
that's what I'm saying.
But he's following Twisty around for a while and deciding he wants to be just like him.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I buy that.
Don't we have the whole scene with isn't his name Corey?
Corey. Yeah, the boy. They're taking
played by the brother he's played by the older brother of the little boy that played Oz in Cult.
Yeah. Those two kids are taken early on, either episode 1 or episode 2. And by the time he finds the bus, they had been trapped in there, and that's the whole twisty stuff we'll get into. But I guess that makes sense. But in my mind, I haven't separated.
Matt Bomber's character,
huh?
What was Matt Bomber's character's name?
Prostitute one. Yeah, Andy.
Prostitute one. Andy.
Yeah,
I knew he had a name. He had a name. But yeah, because Dandy does that.
But that's after the twins. That's after Halloween.
I think that's. Maybe. Yeah, but unfortunately now we're getting hung up on whether it was.
I know exactly. Everything's so.
It doesn't really matter at this point.
The twins happen early on. He acquires the twins, and when he acquires the twins, it doesn't work out because
Elsa's jealous of the twins.
Yes, and when they're with Dandy, Dot is enamored because she buys into the richness, she buys into all the glory. Glory's pampering them, and she buys into the house, into the colors, into the movies, and all that shit. Whereas Bet is like, no, until Bet reads that one of the twins was successfully separated. I know that they are. And so when the twins are, she reads it as possible for the twins to be separated. She's like, you know what? Maybe we could use this motherfucker's money. We could use this. This would be all right. But eventually Jimmy comes and gets them out of there. Gets out of the craziness that they do. Oh, it looks like Sarah Paulson. See, those are creepy. So then we got Dandy is studying under Twisty. Basically, like we said, he's following him around. He's enamored with the clown, and then he finds the bus and he finds the little camp away, and the kids are in there, and so he knows the little secret lair. Then he hires Matt Bomber as a prostitute. He wants to do. Matt Bomber is his first kill, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he hires He hires Andy, which is Dell's little boyfriend or Dell's little prostitute, and he hires Andy to because Dandy had been in that bar, and I guess he saw Bummer or something. Yeah, but regardless, he gets him to Twisty's bus. He wants to go do a kill in Twisty's bus in that little macabre setting, in the woods. And then this is where Twisty finds him. Does Twisty come in at this point? No. He leaves. It's the other thing. So anyway, so he kills him. He stabs Matt Bomer to death in this bus, and the creature is born. The actual terror of the murderer is born. After that, he kills Dora the maid because it's Halloween. He wants to wear a clown outfit. He doesn't. What does he kill Dora first?
No, he kills
Matt first. Yeah. He kills.
And then we have the whole scene with them in the bus, and and then he takes off running.
Yes, when he gets caught or whatever, and then
that's when Jimmy recognizes his voice later because of that scene when he sees him at the house to get the girls.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because Jimmy has heard him both times. So after he kills Dora, Gloria starts to catch wind of this. She's like, all this, she knows about the murder. She's like, all this murders, and I gotta bury these bodies. All of this shit. She's like, it's just not right. Well, hello, welcome. No, it's not right. So she starts to look at getting Dandy some help, getting Dandy some therapy or whatever, and he won't have any part of it. He ends up killing her for just thinking of that.
But he did go to one meeting.
Yeah, well, he's not having any part of it.
There's a little trivia that I'm pretty sure you guys did not know about with the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The therapist was also the voice of the therapist. That is Danny Houston.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where is Debbie? I would need to know if Debbie knows that. You could just give Debbie some new trivia. Like, hey, Debbie, check it out.
Debbie had the bad chicken.
Yeah, she's not feeling good today.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Feel better, babe.
Yeah. So, when he kills Regina and Gloria, after he kills Regina and his mother, he's left alone in the house, and he can just be the terror that he is. Can we
talk about how Gloria dies for a moment? Because
before
he kills Regina, he kills her Gloria, and then he kills the Avon lady.
Correct. And then he kills afterwards. He kills all the people at the Tupperware party too. But
he just goes on a fucking killing spree.
Yeah. So you've got the outside of the home, the Avon lady. Was it Avon? The Avon lady. And then you got the mother.
I believe it was Avon.
And they basically, after he kills them, he basically creates his own Bet and Dot, which he sews the two together almost in the same formation of Bet and Dot. And
creepy, by the
does
way.
Well, can you imagine the strength it took to do that, and the cutting of the bone and do all that, to have them sewn together like they did? It was sick. It had a little
it was just
marionette. Yeah, it's really gross. Then after the marionette show with his mother and the Avon lady,
marionette show.
Regina shows up. Regina, played by Gabrielle Sidibe, is Dora's daughter. And Regina is like, no. Something is wrong with my mother. Because she grew up with Dandy. They grew up together. They were almost like siblings. And so she can talk to Dandy and read him as if they were siblings. You talk to your sibling very, very differently than you talk to a friend or to another person. And, there's always that huge level of leeway when you're talking to siblings. And so in the beginning, she's got that sibling relationship with him. She's like, no, Dandy, you tell me what's going on. And then he starts to act scary to her. That he starts to act, saying things that very, very threatening manner, and whatever he's convincing her, she starts to really back off, and she starts to really get freaked out. And at the end of the day, he tells her that he killed her mother, he killed his mother, and he'll kill her too. And she goes off to the cops. She's like, no, he lets her escape, running around the house screaming. And she comes back with the cops. Now, is this Clockway? Or just regular cop? Yeah. I don't know. She comes back with the cops. And he kills them too. Killing everybody in the show.
Kill the cop. The cop kills Regina.
Oh yeah, that's right. He convinces the cop. How did I forget that?
He pays him off
for money.
$1 million to kill Regina. So he
anything for money. Anything for money. That's right. I forgot that Ryan included
that thing. It was cold.
That's right. Yep. I totally forgot about that. It's so cold. Yeah, he gave him $1 million. He shot Regina right there. Cold. And then he kills all the people in the Tupperware party trying to frame Jimmy. And it just goes batshit crazy. Well, in the meantime, he had acquired the Freak Show. During all of this crap and all this mess, the Freak Show also was trying to leave. The Freak Show was going under. We just learned the other day when we were talking about it, all the crazy shit that was happening in the Freak Show with all the murders and collecting the bodies and all this stuff. That it was becoming a liability. And so he ends up buying the Freak Show. He ends up taking it. And this is after the Chester stuff. And so when he gets the Freak Show, he basically he tries to run it as the company that he wanted. He wanted the show that he wanted in the beginning. He tries to go in there and say, this is our show, and I'm so glad to be part of the family, and we're going to have this amazing performance, and you guys do this. And the freaks are like, no, that's a big old no. We're not doing that. And because they don't know who Dandy is, and they quit. They walk out. Dandy goes off the deep end. Dandy loses his ever-loving mind, and this is where we have the big assassination scene. Dandy comes back to the campus after almost like at dawn time, I think. It's either dawn or early morning. You kind of feel the sun either coming really up or starting to go down, and he just starts shooting everybody point blank as he's walking up to them. And this real terrible assassination style, school shooting style thing. And this is where some of the acting I talked about the other day with Angela Bassett and some of these other actors really, really shined. I mean, the whole scene with Angela Bassett in her trailer hiding from him and the fear, and then like the anger and Eve when she comes out to approach him, and just the sternness and the mental checked out Finn Winrock did during this whole performance was just amazing. And it's a tough scene to watch, and it's very grueling, but I tell you, it's one of my favorite scenes of the whole show, because it's just, I think it's perfection from beginning to start. It's the cinematography is great, the direction is great, how they did it with everybody being shot in a different way, instead of just lining them up or whatever. It's powerful, really, really powerful scene. And he goes on his merry way. Jimmy and Maggie come back that night because they weren't. Jimmy wasn't there. And he comes back and sees everybody dead. And he's like, what the fuck? He's crying and throwing, all the bodies are lined up from the stage all the way down the alley, the stairs down the row, in like this, almost crucifixionist style thing, this art. It's really sad. And Jimmy just, at this point, Jimmy loses his mind. He's like, I'm going to get that. They knew it was Danny. I'm going to get that motherfucker. And they do. Angela Bassett survives. And she survives by hiding out in the trailer. And so she gets with Bet and Dot and Jimmy, who are about the only survivors of the entire Freak Show. And they say, all right, let's get him. Let's calculate this. Let's devise a plan. Let's not just go, using our crazy heads. So let's devise something. So then we get a cut scene, and it's like, this time jump or something weird. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And Bet and Dot are marrying Dandy. We're like, so Dot, I believe we had this debate before. Dot is the one that physically marries Dandy.
No, Bet.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's Dot. Bet. Is it Bet?
It's Bet's the one that's in love with Jimmy. Dot's in love with Stardom.
Correct. And that's why I thought it was Dot that agreed to do this. And when they say the vows. Somebody look at the vows. Here we are with this debate again. But anyway, it's only one of them.
They're married.
Yeah, it's only one of them.
Anyway, yeah.
And they're legally married. It's that one. And no, that's what we found out in the debate. Neither did they finish.
No, it's the Dandy thing. Jimmy, they're married. Bet's married to.
No. I'm talking about Dandy. I'm talking about Dandy. The setup with Dandy. As I said, Dot.
They went through the ceremony to trick him. because all he wanted to do was to be a star. Well, it turns out that.
But didn't they sign over stuff or something so that she would have?
It was legal. Yeah, it was legal. Not married.
It was all legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they end up getting the modest state at the end, I'm
That's what
sure.
I'm saying. Like they never discussed that, but like Benton got.
That means they get the Roanoke house.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that fake wedding. You're like kind of faked out for a minute, and then you realize they want to take him back to the freak show. They take him back to have the show of his dreams and giving. Oh, we love you, Dandy. Give him Dandy everything you want. Well, he was set up. They captured Dandy and they put him in this tank. And it's like a buried alive kind of thing with the tank, and he's in there with his little tidy whities.
Houdini trick gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And he's screaming and he's crying. He's pleading just like the little baby that he is. And then he kind of goes evil in there. He's just like, oh yeah, you think you got the last of me. And it was really good Finn performance. Just like from baby to like really evil. And they're satisfied. The three of them, or four of them.
They're just sitting there eating popcorn.
Eating popcorn. Yeah, Desiree. And and that's where we get the after, the happily ever after kind of thing for the people that survive, because the monster is dead. The monster is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Twisty, he played a part in all this, so let's talk about Twisty.
So Twisty is a very complex character.
One of the most complex.
Yeah. And I almost wish I would have let you do Twisty at this point, because I feel like I'm not going to do him justice.
You want me to do Twisty? All right, let me see what I can remember. Y'all pipe in.
No, I mean, just help me out.
No, if you pipe in if you get stuck somewhere. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Well, the way I'm going to do this, because I don't want to leave anything out, because like we said, Twisty's very complicated. So I'm going to read you guys his background.
Okay.
Twisty was literally dropped on his head as a baby, resulting in a minor mental disability. He left Jupiter, Florida in 1943 to work as a clown with Rusty Westchester's traveling carnival. Jealous of his popularity, the carnival freaks, led by two cruel dwarves, spread a lie that he was molesting children. He was no longer able to find work as a clown, though this didn't stop him from wearing the costume and makeup, and he returned to Jupiter to build novelties from garbage scrap. Upon his return to Jupiter, he found that his alcoholic mother had died. Efforts to sell his whirligigs to the local store were met first with disinterest and then fear, as his crazed desperation and rage against the rumors of his past began to flare up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The lies.
Despondent, he blew off his lower jaw with a shotgun in an attempted suicide. To cover up his horrible facial disfigurement, he began wearing a wide grin prosthetic mask. He then decided in his own special way to make the children love him again by keeping them safe from their parents.
Ugh. So sad. When that reveal happens, that's one of the biggest kick you in the nuts reveal that the show's ever done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because you're like, this is the bad guy. Like you see it from the first scene. Yeah. The first scene is Twisty.
Yep.
Terrorizing these teenagers on a picnic and everything.
Yep.
Little did we know, all he was trying to do was get a babysitter for what he was planning. But
right.
Yep. Exactly.
Poor little Bonnie. But yeah, you kind of touched on how he got involved with Dandy and Gloria. And then he's kidnapped this little boy, Corey, and he's already kidnapped Bonnie at this point from her picnic with her boyfriend. He kidnaps Bonnie because he, like Dawn said, he needs a babysitter for the kids he's going to collect to save from their parents. And you know what? What does it say? Because I totally forgot about this. It says specifically, okay, his purported motivation, as he revealed to Ghost Edward Mordrake, was to save children from their mean, chore-giving, candy-denying parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was so simple-minded, and that was one of the reasons the carnies and the freaks made fun of him and started the rumor too, was because that he was simple. He said simple. He was
Yep. And remember, this was back in the day where dentistry was really just coming around, and in the 50s and 60s was like the big anti-candy phase as well. That's when kids don't chew, don't eat candy, only one piece at a time, all that stuff.
Don't do this, yeah.
Right. All new guidelines from the FDA on brushing your teeth and everything for kids. I mean, not that it was a bad thing, but yeah, like you said, it was the big explosion back then. So he kidnaps them. We see the interaction with Dandy and Gloria. He then returns to the bus to entertain his prisoners.
Yes, that's so sad. When you know the whole story, that scene is really sad. Because if I'd been in that cage too, you would be freaking out. I mean, it's scary.
Right,
it's absolutely terrifying.
And he couldn't understand why these children were terrified.
Look at the toys I have. Look at the noise I can make. Look at all this
stuff for you.
And then he gets frustrated that they're not understanding him. In his frustration, it seems like a monster. And it's just so sad. The whole thing is sad.
He's already terrifying looking.
Yep.
And they've been kidnapped, so they're terrified.
Yep.
They have no idea he thinks he's saving them. They just think some crazy killer, because she watched him murder her boyfriend
right there.
Yep.
What was he protecting her from with the boyfriend? It wasn't apparent.
He didn't like the men from the freak show.
No, that was the thing. He didn't like the men from the freak show. So
he didn't like these people telling him no, telling him stopping what he was trying to do. Lying on him.
All he wanted to do was protect the kids from their parents. That's it. That was his whole mindset.
Yep.
So
then it gets to Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for.
Yeah.
We get to Halloween, and this is when he meets Edward Mordrake.
Yes.
Not because Twisty called. Who wasn't it? Elsa who called.
It was Elsa who did it, because it was.
So he came searching to find the what did he call it? What soul?
He's the one who's most deserving.
He's searching for
deserving. That's what it was. The most deserving soul.
Because
his freak show in the afterlife.
The carnies believe that they can't. There's a it's almost like a curse. You can't perform on Halloween, or you will summon the spirit of Edward Mordrake, and he will come and take an unsuspecting soul to be part of his ghost troupe.
And that's when Elsa demands a performance, and
Elsa demands a performance, and she's under the impression that
like her,
that it's just that's it's not the truth. You guys are crazy and whatever, and so she demands to have a rehearsal. So she forces them to do this, and because she's under the impression that when she sees Mordrake, she thinks that he's like a talent scout.
Yes.
Coming to see her perform, but he doesn't like hang out. He just like disappears, and she freaks out about that. But when he's summoned, you see like the clouds come in, and he has like this green like cloud-like stuff that follows him. So basically he's going around and he's listening to the stories of the Carney folk, because the original background on him is, let's see.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Katie. I just saw Katie's here. Hi, hon. How are you doing today?
What's up,
Katie? Anyway,
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, the background on him is he's a 19th century nobleman born with a second face on the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very handsome and noble, but the head on or the face on the back of his head is always whispering to him horrible things and making him, basically driving him crazy and telling him
yeah.
things. And he ends up he ends up getting institutionalized because of this, because the face drives him crazy, because he goes off and he kills people because the face tells him to do it, and they institutionalize him, and he manages to get out. So he joins a freak show because he thinks that that's the only time that he can actually feel normal and deal with, regular life where people are not going to make fun of him and stuff like that. But the face basically drives him crazy and causes him, he basically murders the entire freak show before he ends up committing suicide and killing himself, because he just can't deal. He's trying to get rid of the face on the back of his head. He tries to kill it. He can't do it. And the face is driving him crazy. So then he turns into a spirit, and his basic goal is to collect lost souls, but he only comes out on Halloween, but only if the Carney folk actually performs. So that's why nobody performs on Halloween, because they'll call to him, and
it's the bat signal from Mordrake.
Yeah, he'll go around and he goes around and he listens to everybody's story, and whoever has the best story or whatever, that's the one he picks.
And this is where the show's really interesting, because some of the elements of Paul's story and of Susie's story and stuff are elements of their life. These are real elements taken from these real people's lives, and it's heartbreaking to hear what they've gone through.
During all this stuff on Halloween, as he's going around to all the different trailers, we hear the background story on Paul. We hear the background
story, which was awesome to get, and it was a good way they did it too, without overloading it and trying to put it into a plot.
We get the background story on Legless Susie, and we get the whole background story on Ethel. And so he's going around, and basically it's the face basically tells him not the one.
Yeah, it tells him who's the deserving one.
And he gets to Pepper and Salty, and they're too pure. There's no way he's going to do that. And then he basically hears Dandy. He hears Twisty and Dandy in the distance doing their show, and he ends up going over there to watch. And he is able to convince Twisty to tell him his story, and the face, his
the
face
one.
His head is basically he's the one, and basically Twisty's story makes him weep. And so
it was presented like a big reveal, like a big shock reveal. Yeah. We're like, oh my god, because we didn't know anything about Twisty at this point. It was like it was like that he was just this evil monster that was going around killing all these people, and he was the big serial killer of the season, and then he trained Dandy, but then we get this sad story. So Mordrake's reaction was our reaction when you're seeing it for the first time. You're like, holy shit, what this guy went through all this, and then you go back and look at everything that Twisty did the entire season is completely different now. It has a whole different tone.
Well, and then Mordrake stabs him, and then the freaks stab him to death. Mordrake,
and Mordrake wants him to join the troop.
Yeah,
he's the one that's chosen to join the troop, and then we don't see Mordrake again until Elsa is performing much later in the series.
And we see the troop. The troop comes with him.
Yeah, the troop goes with him. But then just a nod to Twisty. I mean, because that's obviously the end of Twisty.
Yeah.
Which you don't realize, for as iconic of a character as he is for the American Horror Story universe.
Yeah.
How little he's actually in the season.
Very little.
I know. Very
you know,
little.
but you connect that much with that character. And
Well,
by
brought
the
him into
time you
Cult.
hear his story, and that's what I was going to say. They mention it again in Cult, because he's on the comic book that he's reading. So we actually get some scenes with Twisty because they do them as if they were real life, but it's him reading the comic book. So,
and in Oz's dream.
yes,
Yeah.
and in the dream.
Mhm.
Oh, and I didn't even talk about that. The fact that Twisty is loosely based off of John Wayne Gacy and
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And Ed Gein. And for those of you who don't know, the cool part is that John Carroll Lynch, who plays Twisty the Clown, who was based loosely on John Wayne Gacy, then plays John Wayne Gacy in Hotel. John Carroll Lynch plays John Wayne Gacy in Hotel at Devil's Night. So how meta is that?
Yeah, right.
Well, okay.
So
We
meta
can get
that he was like,
we
I
can
don't
get
want to do that
even
again.
more meta when you think about it, because if you've ever watched Zodiac,
Mhm.
he John Carroll Lynch has one of the main roles in that, and he's actually
Yes.
they never actually solved the case on that, but according to the movie, he is the actual killer. They just can't pin it on him.
Which Zodiac
So
is
it's
this? Jake
like-
Gyllenhaal's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that movie, actually. That was a good rendition of it, because so many people have tried and so many of them just aren't that great.
It's
So
Jake
he's
Gyllenhaal. Of course, it's good.
So he's basically played all the killers so far. He's played the Zodiac. He played the Zodiac killer, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
then we have Twisty, we have John Wayne Gacy.
And
So far I think that's it, because
The 1984.
Jingles.
and then in 1984 we have
But
Mr. Jingles.
But Mr. Jingles was not a serial killer, and
Mm.
that was very specific. And I would remember at the beginning of the season, preseason 1984.
You say he
John
was
said
a serial killer. It was very
He-
specific, but he also was very much like Twisty, where he still killed a lot of other people. Like he didn't
he
just
said-
kill to save the children. There was other people he randomly killed just because he was mad or didn't like them. And
he said he'll never play.
did the same.
He said he'll never play a cold serial killer again. That actor.
No.
Yep. So that's why I knew something was up in 1984, because he had said that previously before filming 1984.
That he
We
didn't
all
want
thought
to
it was freaking
just
her.
be a killer. He
And
wanted
then
to-
Don Mordrake, most people don't know that Mordrake was actually based on a real person in history.
I didn't know that because of the fact that I just assumed, because when you're reading,
I wish I had it pulled up right now.
when you're looking for all the background on it, they're talking as if it's not a real story, but apparently it
He
is.
lives, yeah. Yeah, because in Freak Show they present it like a myth, like a folk tale, but he's based on a real person. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
there actually was a guy who had a second head, and
the head wasn't talking and everything on the back of his head.
No, but he said it talked to him, and it drove him mad. He became an alcoholic and all kinds of things, and I think he ended up killing himself eventually, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine like combing your hair and you got the other thing's nose up there or whatever?
And also, this was also Wes Bentley's debut as well.
Yes, and he did great as well. So we got Wes, John,
We got Wes and Finn.
and John.
Yeah, John Carroll Lynch.
Wes, John, Finn, and Matt. For a moment, we had Bomber in there.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a big role, but he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. Hey, for nominations later.
Well, don't forget, you got all the performers.
Write that down.
You got all the performers. This is all their first and only time in American Horror Story.
Well, yeah, but that's the only time.
Yeah,
that doesn't count. It has to be somebody who's regular.
They got to have some sort of credit.
Well, we will. We'll make a category specifically.
Well, we're making a whole show about them, so
yeah,
and we'll go over their real stories. So that's it for today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Unless anybody else has anything else to add.
So don't forget, tomorrow is our show.
There it is.
Yeah. Put the twisty shit away.
I knew you were going to do it.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Thank you for coming to our show, everybody. Come back tomorrow.
That mask is terrible. Terrible. It doesn't even look like Twisty. It looks like a deformed Twisty.
It looks like Twisty. What are you talking about?
Okay, so wand of the day.
Tomorrow's show.
Yeah, first off, tomorrow's show is our anniversary show. Our actual anniversary, our 6-month anniversary was today or a couple days ago. And we are celebrating on Friday so that everybody can come join. And we're we got an AMA going out. So, anything you want to ask us in the comments here on a Facebook page, wherever, freaks, doesn't matter. And then we'll do that. We're going to just talk about the show moving forward, talk about some of the, where we came from and all that stuff. I will actually, I'm going to stream from the Wand Hall tomorrow. So you guys will get the first view of that. And I don't know what else Mel's got planned. I'm sure Mel will do something crazy.
We have nominations coming up. We have American Horror Story Asylum nominations for the awards coming up.
Yep. It'll be award show again.
See you guys soon.
And
the debut of
Action Figure Theater. Action Figure Theater is going to debut on Sunday. It will be a taped show that we talked about because we want to interact with you guys in the comments during Action Figure Theater. We're going to tape it as if we're doing a show just like this, a stream, but then we're going to premiere it on Sunday.
We're going to premiere it
earlier. We're going to premiere it earlier. So you guys, just a heads up on time. Action Figure Theater, because we're doing it for some of the younger kids, is going to be, what time do we decide? 1 Pacific?
We said 2 hours early, so
2 hours early. So it's 2
o'clock Central, so 2 Pacific.
2 Pacific?
Yeah. 2 Pacific is we're going to debut that, and then that'll be every Sunday at 2 Pacific and 4 Central.
I know we're getting ready to end here, but I just want to say hi real quick. Afro Whales in the house.
Afro's in the house.
That's Alfie.
What's up, Alfie?
Who else do we have? Let's see.
Katie's here. BRT's here. I think that's it.
My friend was watching for a little bit.
Richter is here.
That's my friend. He's
watching.
Here.
We got a new one.
It's my friend from Vegas. Say hi to Richter.
My mask looks like you.
Yeah. Okay. Wand of the day. Well, we forgot wand of the day. Wand of the day today is special because it's not this one. We've already shown you this one. Going on the theme of the different style wands that we talked about, with the walking stick and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Debbie was here. She knows who this is.
That is awesome.
It's Hagrid's. This is Hagrid's. His wand was taken from him when he was in school because of the whole Chamber of Secrets thing, and it was basically he was not allowed to use it anymore. And so he took the remnants of his wand and always kept it, made it into an umbrella.
I love that.
So this will be his one. Yes. So that's Hagrid's.
That's awesome.
Hagrid has always been one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a great addition. All right. Anything else?
Well, thank you guys for being here. We have brought you AHS Freak Show's main villains, character study, and connections. We have discussed Dandy and Gloria Mott, enabling him and all. We've discussed Twisty and his poor twisted tail. We've brought you Edward Mordrake and his sad collection. Mm-hmm. What more can we say? Hopefully in the comments below, you guys will tell us who your favorite main villain is and why. Like we said, really only one's a villain. The rest are kind of sad souls. Feel free to let us know your opinion on it in the comments below.
Monday, are we talking the real stories now on Monday?
Yeah. Monday and Tuesday we're breaking it up into 2 parts. We'll be going over the real freaks and discussing their real stories. That will be Monday and Tuesday.
All right.
Wait, Dawn.
From there we'll let you know.
Afro's not able to chat. BRT was just telling me. He says, looking freaks, Dawn. He says, Afro's blocked when I have to top chat on. Was visible when I have to live chat. Yeah, so I don't know. We're looking at it, BRT and Afro.
Katie said Sirius Black and Lupin are her favorite characters. I was just telling my husband Sirius is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not mine, but he's great. Gary Oldman's great at Sirius.
He's my ultimate favorite, and that was the biggest thing that sealed the deal for me was Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he was great in
His
it.
performance was amazing.
We've got to tell everybody we're continuing Freak Show actually through next week.
I said that.
To Wednesday. Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
we
Okay,
did.
I missed it then. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I believe the problem that Afro's having is not our problem. That right now, I believe, is YouTube. They're having issues today.
Oh, okay.
So that may be their issue, not ours, because I have not.
YouTube being overloaded today.
Yeah, I have not blocked anyone on YouTube, so it's not anything that we've done. I believe that YouTube is having.
You guys, we don't block you guys.
No,
even you haters, we enjoy it. To give us a negative compliment.
BRT was telling me earlier that he was having a problem with the stream itself. So I think what it is.
Yeah, but when I switched off of my computer and went to my phone, he said it was fixed, I think.
So it's not us. It's actually something that YouTube has to fix.
Tomorrow it'll probably be better. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow should be fun.
Tomorrow's just gonna be have some fun. Just kick back.
Yep, we're just gonna
Is Di joining us tomorrow or no?
She might.
She said she was going to try to join us tomorrow for the show, and Di will probably give away some makeup or something. Maybe I'll give away some wands.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Get that crazy ass thing off your face.
All right.
All right.
Everybody, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be back tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.
We're out.
No.